What's up, fight fans? Welcome to my channel. This is Johnny, and today we're going to be going over the statistics that nobody talks about when mentioning a possible super fight at 122 pounds between pound-for-pound king Naoya Inoue and Jesse Bam Rodriguez. Guys, this past weekend brought us some great fights. Specifically, I'm talking about Juan Estrada versus Bam Rodriguez. And every time we have a fighter who's young, up and coming, undefeated as a world champion, who comes off an electric performance, we start thinking about future possible matchups. If you didn't know, Bam Rodriguez became the first man to knock out Juan Estrada, a future Hall of Famer, this past weekend in Arizona via a brutal liver punch. If you didn't catch our recap or our video about the statistics of the fight analysis, that video is tagged in this one, so watch that after this. Moving forward, Turki Al-Sheikh has spoken about in the past about super fights. He's proven his word to be accurate. We've seen what he's done with the heavyweights. We see what's happening this August with Majmov and Terrence Crawford in Los Angeles with the stacked Riyadh card. And he has money to put these fights on. So he has mentioned Inoue in the past. We know a couple facts about these divisions. Before we open this up any deeper, I want to explain to the fans the different weight classes and what would need to happen, because those in the know understand that Bam is a few weight classes below Inoue. The champion at 115 pounds is Bam Rodriguez. He took the belt back from Juan Estrada. He once had it. He went down to 112, became the champion there, and then fought Estrada again for the 115 belt. So now Bam has that. The champion at 118, which is bantamweight, is Junto Nakatani. He's undefeated. His name has been paired with Inoue in a potential possible matchup, and Inoue is at 122 pounds at super bantamweight, and we know about the Japanese monster. Looking ahead, Nakatani and Inoue could fight. Estrada has spoken about an immediate rematch. We'll see if that happens, but to think in the near future, Bam going up to 122 and taking on Inoue, that doesn't seem so far-fetched. So in this video, I want to break down both fighters' resumes, talk about how they've been going about their business, compare and contrast each fighter, and then at the very end of the video, stay tuned. I want to leave it to you guys on how you think this one would go down. Let's take a closer look at Jesse Bam Rodriguez. Guys, we know Bam Rodriguez is 20-0 with 13 knockouts. He carries into the ring a 65% career knockout to win ratio. He's currently ranked #1 in the world in the super flyweight division. That's at 115 pounds. The American Southpaw stands at 5'4" with a 67-inch reach, and his adoring fans call him Bam. He last took on Juan Estrada, who was 44-3, knockout in the 7th. Sonny Edwards, 20-0, knockout in the 9th. Hernandez, 15-1, UD in the 12th. Gonzalez, 28-4, UD in the 12th. Wangek, 50-5, knockout in the 8th. Guys, if we add up Bam's last 5 opponents, we get a career record of 157-13. Those are the records of his opponents on the night that they fought Bam, giving Bam Rodriguez a 92% strength of schedule over his last 5. He is 5-0 with 3 knockouts in those last 5. A little side stat of Bam Rodriguez, he is 6-0 in title fights. Guys, and when you look at Bam at 24 years old, people like comparing and jumping the gun a little bit. Bam at 24 years old is 20-0 with 13 knockouts, and Inoue at 24 years old was 12-0 with 10 knockouts. So we can compare and contrast what they were doing at this time in their careers. Bam is the more active fighter, but the only way to ever prove if that ever matters is one day if those two would meet in the ring. Now let's take a closer look at the Japanese monster. Guys, Inoue is 27-0 with 24 knockouts. He carries into the ring a career 89% knockout to win ratio. He's currently ranked #1 in the world at 122 pounds. That's the super bantamweight division. He's also currently ranked #2 in the world on the pound-for-pound boxing's list. The 31-year-old Japanese fighter is a 5'5" orthodox fighter with a 67.5-inch reach, and his adoring fans know him as the Monster. He last fought Louis Neary, who was 35-1, knockout in the 6th. Tapales, 37-3, knockout in the 10th. Stephen Fulton, 21-0, knockout in the 8th. Butler, 34-2, knockout in the 11th. Nonito Donaire, 42-6, knockout in the 2nd. If you add up Inoue's last 5 opponents' records on the night that they fought Inoue, you get a number of 169 wins with 12 losses, giving Inoue a 93% strength of schedule. Some side notes about Inoue: he's been on the pound-for-pound boxers list for 357 straight weeks. That's over 7+ years. He's also beaten 13 world champions and is 21-0 in world title fights with 19 knockouts, giving Inoue a 90% knockout to win ratio in world title fights. Those numbers are amazing. Now, when you look at both guys side by side, Inoue's not getting any younger. Bam Rodriguez, it seems, the more we see him, he's getting better and better. We do know in the lighter divisions, speed and reflexes are the first things to go, but every time we see Inoue, he looks just as dominant as the performance before. So we'd have to think, for Bam to go up to 122, it would probably take a year or so. I'm not saying this fight happens next, by no means, but it wouldn't be out of the question to see if these two fighters would meet, maybe by the end of 2025, who knows. Bam is the younger fighter by 7 years. The Japanese monster's experience in world title fights definitely on his side. His power knockout to win ratio, 90% in world title fights, 88% over his career, is unbelievable. This matchup excites fans. There are rumors that Junto Nakatani is paired with Naoya Inoue. Nothing confirmed yet, but don't be shocked if you see that fight in the near future first. But if we ever get to see Jesse Bam Rodriguez take on the Japanese monster, who do you think comes out on top? Leave all that in the comment section below.